We did talk about that a little bit yesterday. Clapping and ululating and respect. Okay. So we can advance on. I remember this. Okay. Okay, so here we are. This is where we left off pretty much. Can we just read this all together? Can you see from there? If somebody needs it's too acute, just come on over. Lots of space here. Everybody ready for reading together? 1, 2, 3, go. Mridanga and kartal should be played together harmoniously to enhance the transcendental sound vibration of the holy names. Kartals should be chimed sweetly like gopis' ankle bells, especially when the tempo is slow. They should not be clanked together like dustbin lids. That's from Bhaktimarga Swami, and I would totally agree with you on that one. Okay. We do have some videos, short ones, to illustrate the point. Are we ready to go here? We'll listen to the sweet sound of the kartals here, and they're not obstructive in any way. It's amazing how he does it, while sitting still like that. Mystical. So you get the point. I know that Gora and I have talked about this a lot in the past. Kartals shouldn't obscure the sound. They tend to a lot of times.
Or the drum.
Or the drum. And I think that when you actually go to purchase your instruments, be a little bit selective about it. Get something that's actually going to make the kirtan attractive and sweet, so that people will, so we will bring about that. What's the word we used so many times yesterday? Starts with an I. I-N-C. Inclusive. Yeah. This really kirtan is about, saying kirtan is about inclusiveness. Okay, so you get the point. Anything you want to add to that? The main feature is the sound vibration, the name. The name is the thing. And everything else should basically back it up.
I can add if you like.
Sure.
Can this be in context of outside as well? Or only
Yeah. See, but outside is the same thing, but what I found, I go to South Africa every year for Durban. It's one of the biggest raffles. I think it's the biggest outside of India. And I must admit, I confess, I've stopped going just because it sounds so horrible. Now, what I find works for that audience, being so much large black population, has to be a good beat. So what happens there is you've got this, somebody who's singing off key, or it's just not. And so that's what is projected, and it doesn't draw people in.
Right.
So what I've been trying to say is, why don't you have a real good beat with musical accompaniment, and that will pull people in. Then once they're in there, they'll say, what else is there now? What are you singing? Like that. Some strategy like that has to be, let's say, considered, in order to make it work. Go ahead.
What I was going to say is, when I used to live at the Montreal Temple, and we would go out on Harinam down St. Catherine's Street, I would purposely walk on the other side of the street to do a kind of sound check. Because before a band, for instance, plays in an auditorium, you do a sound check first, just to see what the acoustics are like. And I would make the sarcastic remark that we often sound like the International Society for Bell Metal Consciousness or heavy metal consciousness, because too often the clashing of the kartals or the booming of the mridanga very easily drown out the mantra, and we're there to serve the holy name, not that it's supposed to be background to the instruments. It's the other way around.
Right. And there's a place for kartals, like we hear in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you read about how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very organized about how everything should be orchestrated in such a way that it'll sound good. Everyone has a role to play. There are the cartel players. They're more like judges. They're like what we call wompers.
Right.
And I've actually been in Orissa. I've been in places in Orissa where they just play that. They just like a dozen guys are on the wompers, and they play so in a synchronized way. It's so beautiful.
Right.
They were there to greet a few of us, you know. We went into this really remote village, you know, where they'd never seen a white man before, you know. And it was like a big deal for them. So a few of us went there, and then that's how they were greeting us, you know, with this very beautifully synchronized.
Tastefully.
It was very tastefully done. Personally, I'd love to see a Rath Yatra with just some people trained up on that. Other people on Mridangas, and, you know, like change it up a little bit, you know, different flavors, like when you go to ice cream shop, you know, there's all kinds of different flavors. Instead of everyone just trying to do the same thing, everything is happening the same.
Like plain vanilla.
But yeah, so anyways, everyone gets the point, right? The name is the game, all right? Name is the game. And everything else should be there to support it. And it should be done nicely. Okay, okay, now we're looking at the Sunday feast standard. People have different nomenclatures for the Sunday feast these days. Open house, I've heard of different things. But anyways, should it be like this? Go ahead. What are they singing?
Clap, clap, clap.
I like the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
That's really good. They got that down really good. But everything else sounded like a dustbin lid concert. You know? Huh? They're totally into it. They're forgetting about one thing. What's important, you know? So if you apply enthusiasm, okay, so let's hear. We need to play the instruments throughout, not like these two monkeys. Go ahead. Okay, next. Practice makes perfect, as we sometimes hear. Okay, watch these two guys. They're not singing. This is instrumental. Okay, practice, that's the point. I want to tell you a nice story. I was with a bus tour, this goes back about 6 years ago. We stopped in a place called Cannon City in Colorado. And we were in one park, we were also just chilling, relaxing there. And across the street, the local band for the football team was practicing. They were practicing with their instruments, with the drums, and also marching, you know. And I remember saying to Manarams, why don't we practice? Why don't we practice for our kirtans? Because we're going out in the public. We're going down on major streets in like New York and LA and other places, you know. Why don't we do that? Why don't we kind of rehearse and also get a little bit into the choreography, the movement, you know, moving together. And that's what I appreciate about what you were all doing just a few minutes ago. We were quite in sync, you know. And oftentimes when we do outdoor kirtan, it's a little hard to get that through. Or even just in the temple room, everyone's swaying like this. They remind me of the mamas and the papas in the old days. Every mama Cass was doing this, and the other guy was over here, and they're all kind of like spaced out hippies. So it'd be nice if it could actually be, you know, just synchronized in a beautiful, attractive way. And people want to get involved. You know? Like this is what we're doing, what we're talking about is something that's very wholesome. You know, it's not sensuous. Once the dances get, I'm just talking about dance now, it's sensuous, it's almost like game over. You know? And there is some room for flexibility with kirtan as well as the dance. I was in Pretoria, it's the capital city of South Africa, and for the Sunday feast, they guys were expertly breakdancing right in the middle of the temple room. Expertly. And it's their culture. You can't remove that from them. And because it was done so good, everybody appreciated it. Of course, the emphasis was on chanting. So there are places, time, place, circumstances. You know, if we're going to go down locally again, you know, into the local town, then it means it has to be really attractive. I guess we just warmed everybody up for that. Any other comments thus far? Okay, we got a lot of stuff to cover. Yep.
I saw one video online, and it was a young lady. I don't know if it was Europe or Russia, but she was doing backflips during, and I didn't know what to think about that. Mm-hmm. Like cartwheels, backflips. I mean, we wouldn't have done that in Providence time, right?
Mm-hmm. There's some spots in Europe, some cities where people are just looking for some entertainment. And like, you probably wouldn't do that. I think you really have to judge. It's
time, place, and circumstance.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's go on. Prabhupada playing kartals. Thank you. That's good. I remember when I got my second initiation in New Vrindavan in 1974, and Prabhupada was playing the kartals with a little bit of a slickness to it, a little more fancy than that, and I was just mesmerized. You know? He played it in style, you know? But he was synchronized. Well, oftentimes he was just make noise, just rev up the sound and make a lot of noise. And one more Mridanga player is totally not in sync with the other one. It has to be really harmonious. It has to really come together nicely. And for that, sometimes practice is needed, if not all the time. Why not?
Every time we have kirtan, you could say internally, use that opportunity to practice. When you meet devotees, you want to learn how to play kartals. And the way I learned to play Mridanga, although I just play basic, I stood behind a Mridanga player and I played softly so as not to disturb the kirtan. And then outside the kirtan, you can ask, how did you do this? How did you do that? It has to be some desire, and then
it comes through. It will come. Okay, good. We'll move along then. Instrumentalists that quit. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. Go ahead. At first, let's do this. And then, I'm tired, I'm bullish. And then people, I've seen guys just drop the mridangas. No, you play. No, you play. No, you play. Right in the middle of the kirtan. All right. It's not even amusing. It's kind of sad. Okay, let's move along. All right. We should know our capacities. All right. And that comes with practice. Next. Respecting the leader. Okay, from Vaishnava Swami, who would like to read this? Marshall, would you like to give this to us?
In Kirtan, all musical instruments, including the mridanga and kartals, must be played in a mood of serving the Kirtan, not controlling it.
Right. And enough was said yesterday about, you know, the attention doesn't go to me. And I'm not a show bottle, it shouldn't be a show bottle presentation. But it's something that's will enthuse people to be directed to Krishna. It's not about me. Okay? Ululating. Mahamaya Devidasi mentions in her book about, maybe one of the ladies can read this out loud. Shameshwari, do you want to just really loud?
Virginia Purdue, who traveled with Srila Prabhupada as a Sanskrit expert, went around to the ladies saying, Srila Prabhupada wants you to make the Ulu sound. Ladies made it easier. We didn't know how to do it. However, we wanted to please Srila Prabhupada, so we tried.
Do we have a good ululator here? That's getting there. Shamir, you're from that part of the world, right? That's getting close, yeah. To both of you. It's something that usually the ladies do, and the kirtan, where there's a crescendo, just to heighten the emotions. Oftentimes, the kirtan, they'll implement this for events like marriages and so on like that. It shows some kind of support. It does.
Kind of like cheerleaders.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. Cheerleaders, yeah. People to back up the event. We're with you, we're with you. Okay. That's all we're going to say about that one. Clapping, we did implement some clapping. Okay, and from the Nectar of Devotion, famous phrase. Somebody else would like to read this? A volunteer? Samuel, do you want to try it out?
Just as by clapping the ends one can cause many birds to fly away, similarly birds of all sinful activities which are sitting in the body can be made to fly away simply by dancing and clapping for the Krishna.
So just remember, this is an instrument. It's used in contemporary music an awful lot, especially for dance music. Clapping it's a very powerful instrument. We forget that. Another thing is, just like Prabhupada says, it can change the lines, change your future if you clap enough. Well, I also find that it's good. It just gets the blood going. Of course, when we did it on the lap and the thighs, I felt my blood running here. Not that that's necessarily a usual part of our kirtan presentation. We were just sitting on the floor and we were just trying to, that's what I do to get everybody excited to use the different body parts. But, so clapping is there. It's something Prabhupada did and something we can implement. Okay? But do clap in time. There's nothing worse than someone goes offbeat and I just feel like strangling them at that moment. Especially after they don't want to take your advice. Yes?
Just one thing on clapping. On Harinam, clapping can be really good because it can get the people who walk the path and they get into it.
Yeah. For the outdoor kirtan, it's something people can do. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's move along.
It's a group dynamic. It creates
the word inclusiveness again, like gets everybody going together.
Like if you go to a gospel church or something, people are into it.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, on the way up, it was raining so hard, and I was with Billy. He was driving Curtis, and it was there. I said, "Okay, we were talking about different kinds of music that work for God," and so I said, "Let's listen to Mahalia Jackson. She's a gospel singer. Did it rain?" And it's all about this, like they get into an absolute frenzy, and it's all about clapping, and it's all for God. It's so good. All right. Who would like to read this one? Karuna Sindhu, you're on.
A person who is in a jubilant spirit, who feels profound devotional ecstasy while dancing before me, and who manifests different features of bodily expression, can burn away all the accumulated simple reactions he has stopped at for many, many thousands of years.
Can everybody look at the picture that's just right of this quotation? When we see the depictions of Shri Chaitanya and Nityananda, it's usually all about that. Arms up in the air, movement, the body's curved in a certain way. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay. Dancing, okay. Dancing is very good. The more you dance, the more you become light. Means the burden of material contamination becomes reduced. Dancing is so nice. Even if you don't feel ecstasy, if you dance by force, that will also help. So sometimes you do hear the excuse, I don't feel like it. There's this real tamagun attitude. Like you just ate some sauerkraut or something, or sour lemon. So, but if you actually force yourself, this is what tapasya means, even in the kirtan. If you don't feel it, just do it, and then you'll feel it. It'll come. It will be aroused, but just do it. Yes.
I remember hearing one story many years ago. Mr. Nair, he supposedly sold us the Bombay Juhu Beach, and then he had some tricky stuff by which he could try to recover the property and cheat us. And the devotees, there was stories told by Bhagavan Prabhu, where one morning he was in Mangalarti and he was just really bummed out because he'd been fighting and the police and lawyers and he just, he was there but he just wasn't there, wasn't moving, wasn't dancing. Prabhupada asked him, why are you not dancing? So Prabhupada, I just don't feel like dancing. It's such a headache dealing with this Mr. and there. And Prabhupada said, even if you don't feel like dancing, dance anyway and then you'll feel like dancing. Same thing. Even just force yourself and then you'll get enlivened and before you know it, you're into it.
Yeah. The other day, maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, I was telling about Billy who drove us here. He and his wife, they went to another retreat place near Hawkesbury. And they decided that he and his wife had been practicing, instead of dancing in the street, it's an old Motown song, chanting in the street, and they got everybody in the yoga place, they're just going nuts singing the song and dancing like crazy, and they were chanting, they were singing chanting, and the song is, hey every guy, grab a girl, but they changed it to every guy and every girl.
Yeah.
But just, what are the lyrics in
LA, Philadelphia, PA.
all these places, and then it doesn't matter what you wear as long as you are there. And it's just got everybody in the right spirit, And then they were chanting, then they inculcated the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and they were all up there, And you'll be surprised at some of these studios, people show so much enthusiasm, it puts some of our kirtans to shame. So, let's move along then. Disorganized, much. Disinvolved. Whether it's getting your kirtan party together or just kirtan in general. This is what it does look like sometimes. We're trying to get our stuff together. Load the van, get the books, get the cartos, get the...
That's why people say, I don't like organized religion, we can say, then you'll really like us because we're pretty disorganized.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. So here we have formation. Here we have something that's a little bit organized, some discipline, and it's fun, and it's beautiful, and we're talking about circles again. Okay, so I guess it's very inclusive, and everybody's involved. Okay, we've all been in kirtans like this. I thought we did a better job than they did. I must admit, what we just did this morning. I thought it was pretty good. Okay, Tompkins Square Park. Going back to, what Prabhupada had taught the devotees how to dance. This is Rupa Nuga Prabhu, and he's dancing. It's part 1, and we'll show you some of the other pieces. You're familiar with this footage, I think. Go ahead. So that is San Francisco at Hippie Hill, Golden Gate Park.
I should dance
Yay, one more time. Okay, move along. The power of the voice. Anyone can chant Hare Krishna. There is no need for instruments. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced the mridanga drum and karatal cymbals, otherwise clapping in itself is sufficient. This is from the teachings of Lord Kapila Dev. So what we're going to do is this is for you to listen to, Gregorian chanting. There is no instruments used whatsoever. It's harmonization of the voices. And this is all dovetailed to the Lord, to Krishna. Well, ultimately. Okay, so let's get a nice volume on this if you can. Try your best. You can close your eyes, please. Very good, bravo. So what did you get from that? Can you give me a description? Lots of devotion, yes. Innovation? Perhaps, yeah.
A lot of synchronicity. All
Synchronicity.
Of those were singing exactly,
Yeah.
phrasing in exactly the same way. They were all in pitch and proper
Right.
tune.
And they had to be practiced to get to this
Oh, yeah.
level, right? What else?
You can tell that they're all listening to each other.
They're listening to each other. Beautiful. Which is a start for spiritual life, basically. Yes.
Because the instrumental emphasis is on the chanting.
Right. Good point. No instruments whatsoever to back it up. Although I think in some cases they might use an organ. But that's it. It's beautiful. Emphasis on the name itself, or I guess you would call it, their bhajans, their hymns. Yeah. Okay. Good. Next now, well, you can look at this. This is from Lady Smith, Black Mombasa. These guys travel all over the world. They're extremely famous. They do not use any instruments. It's just harmonization. And so look at this, observe it, and listen. And then we want to get your take on that. What are they doing that's right? Okay? Okay, it's good enough. Okay, it's just too bad we don't have a big screen for this demonstration. But what did you get out of that? Raj?
I got some dancing moves that make sounds, and they were using their body and their mouth as an instrument.
Very good observation. I would give you. Yeah, what was impressive for me is that their movements were also synchronized. They were practiced. What else? Yes. There was no gap. Yes. Nice observation. Just kept flowing. There's no chance for Maya to slip in. You know, you were caught up in. They do a lot of gospel music too. They do a lot of songs to honor this queen. What else did you get out of that? What was the feeling, the mood?
There was a lot of unity there.
Unity.
Everyone had a role to play. You had a kind of a foundation on which other singers were expressing themselves, but there was something constant as a foundation, and then other embellishments on top of it.
Beautiful, yeah. It was very full. You know, it was very engaging, you know. Everything was there. That's a stage presentation. I'm sure the audience was just riveted. They saw, all this thing going on. Anything else? They which? Sorry? I couldn't. Talented. Okay. Because they practiced. Anything else that's in there that we didn't really discuss much yet? This is like a visual thing. Yeah.
White shoe?
White shoes? Yeah, you're getting there. What else? The uniforms. They all dress alike. Okay? When we go out in the public, you know, I've noticed that in most places, everyone's got their own stuff. Even look at this. We had even the brahmacharis, the rent people. Look at this. Look at this. We got different. Look at this here. We can't even be synchronized. We got different, you know, we're like, so we, and when we go, most of us, we're in Nordic people, so when we do Harinam outside, we have to wear coats in the winter. Everyone's got a different coat. Looks weird. To me, it looks weird. It would be nice if at least a few of us could dress it. Okay, we have devotees dressed in white, so that we're getting there. We're getting there. But when they put their socks and shoes on and their hats, they're all going to be very different. So it'd be nice if, you know, we're a little bit uniform in some areas. What's also good in Kirtan, when we go outside, it's good to have some people that look like lay members. You know, so that they're like, people are wearing civilian clothes, that's also okay. As if to say, well, I can also join, anybody can join in. But you see what I'm saying? You know, people, their dhotis are done different styles, and, you know, it would be nice if we could just go more towards uniformity. All right? Yes, go ahead.
In the 70s, you don't see this anymore, but I remember, because London is like Harinam Loka. They have 3 Harinams going out morning, noon, and night. But back in the 70s, late 70s, they used to all wear the same Harinam chadar. So that was one aspect of the uniformity.
Sure. Good suggestions. Okay, so then we can move along here. Okay, so now we're going to get into an area of what's cool to do, meaning what's appropriate by way of what the acharyas have established for us in terms of what mantras we can use, and that's where we're going. What's not cool, meaning that it's just a concoction, and then what is it that you might get away with? 3 categories. And the third one expresses flexibility, things you can probably get away with. Just like, say, for instance, if I tell you, Prabhupada didn't give us Haribol. He never. It was 1974, devotees went to India, and they sort of, you know, checked around some of the different temples, the Gaudiya temples, and they heard people going Haribol. Then it came back. I joined in 73, so it's like Haribol, that Nitai Go, Haribol, Nitai Go, Haribol. Sounded good, but Prabhupada, there's no recordings of Prabhupada really introducing that. So when you're doing Nitai Go, Haribol, it's something that you can get away with, but it's not something that Prabhupada had given to us. So personally, I evade it. I just avoid it, and I won't judge people if they don't. But I'm just a nobody, anyways. But the point is, yeah, we'll get to you. The point is that there's some certain things that become accepted, and there's certain things we have to look at. Some things that Prabhupada was totally against, like Jai Guru Dev or Jai Jagat Guru, like that. He just was totally against it. That's like absolute no-no. So that goes into the category of what's not cool. Okay. But tell me, what is cool? What is cool. When it comes to the chants that are out there that you hear, what should we chant? Shri Krishna Chaitanya. And the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, yes? Yeah, we can do the Pranam Mantras to Prabhupada, that's right. And the Panchatattva Maha Mantra and the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Anything else? Yeah. Hari Haraya Nama. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday actually. Yeah.
In one place he was saying not more than 3, maybe 4, I'm pretty sure 3 Panchatattva mantras, because some devotees were getting so much into chanting Panchatattva that they minimized the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, even though it is said that the Panchatattva mantra is more...
Yes, we actually had that quote up yesterday. And so it's 3 times the Panchatattva Maha Mantra, and then you can take the Maha Mantra to wherever end you like. Of course, Prabhupada also gave us Govinda Jaya Jaya and so many bhajans. So there's no shortage to the songs, but why do we need to introduce all this new stuff? Okay, it happened in Mayapur this year. One devotee was, during the Mangal he was Jaya this deity and Jaya that deity, Jaya this and Jaya. Prabhupada didn't give us any Jayas, by the way. He didn't Jaya anybody. He jived us. He didn't Jaya anybody. Not even Jaya Bhakti Siddhanta. Jai didn't come out of his mouth practically. So that might be startling to hear. But we took it upon ourselves during his presence to say Jaya Prabhupada. Because, when he was entering into temple or something like that, after a class, we felt an obligation. Prabhupada let it pass somehow. Again, perhaps that has something to do with establishing the Sanstapakacharya position. And we were so low class and didn't understand what Guru was really all about, especially the founder Acharya element. Sureshwara Prabhu, he's in Toronto now. He's still going to all the different places. I don't know if he's coming out east, but he's doing a whole series on what it means, the founder Acharya. This is a beautiful follow-up on what we're doing now. So what I want to say here to you all is that this Kirtan standard presentation is designed to help you to understand what was Prabhupada's standard. That's basically it. What did he want? What did he like? What did he have? What was his expectations of us when it came to chanting which mantras?
One time Prabhupada was walking with, I believe it was Hari Sari Prabhu, and he overheard the Kirtan, Nitai Gaur Haribol, Haribol. And Prabhupada turned to Hari Sari Prabhu and said, what about the rest of the Panchatattva? Why just Nitai Gaur?
We're going to get to that. We're actually going to get to all those
regarding
things.
the Jaya, there's actually a bhajan. I don't think it's in the more recent songbook, but you and I remember from the old days, there is actually a bhajan, Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Rupa Goswami Pradana, but that's actually
That's a bhajan. That's a bhajan. Yeah.
But they take a part of that and they add that, but it minimizes the Hare Krishna mantra.
Are we doing okay? Is that relevant to us, what we're saying here? Because you hear all kinds of things, and it's good to know what is the standard. So we had one devotee, he was a senior devotee, he just went Jai all over the place, glorifying this set of deities and that set of deities. That was mainly what the Mangalarti constituted of it. That guy almost got rotten tomatoes thrown at him. I'm just, exaggerating, but in terms of how dare you do that, we know there's a certain standard. Yeah.
Well, this is a deal of someone who joined recently, and to me it's all those jars, chanting the name of deities. This is mostly what we see other people do.
Right. So what we'll do is we're going to go through this. Okay, we're going to try to emphasize this just a little bit more. And as we discussed yesterday, if you don't get the standard, if things are not standardized, we're going to go off into incredible tangents. Crazy. It's going to get so diluted. Okay. And Prabhupada makes strong points about this in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela. Okay, let's go ahead. Grand finales, Kirtan fillers. Okay, Gauranga. Nityanandaram. Nitai, Nitai, Niti, Nitai, Gauranga. Gaura, 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 Hari. Right? Nitai, Gaur, Hari Bol. Gaura, Nityananda Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Before we go on this one, just to the next one. You'll find that in this book here. Lokanath Swami was leading that kirtan with Gaura, Nityananda Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And Prabhupada looked really bitter, like really sour. And I said, don't ever do that again. Then, just to clarify, Prabhupada didn't mind if the devotees in the kirtan would say the name of the deities near the end of the kirtan. When you went to the different deities, you could sing Jai, Radha, such and such. But the main point is that you emphasize the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But I just want to also say, he didn't give us Jai anybody. Bas.
I'm not trying to contradict Srila Prabhupada here, but this Gaura Nityananda Bol, which of course Vishnu Jan Swami really made famous.
Yes, he did.
And which I think he chanted obviously in front of Prabhupada. And I don't know of any instances where Prabhupada said don't do that, but anyway, I'm not trying to argue with Lokanath Swami either. But I went through the Bhaktimarga songbook, Gitavali and Sharanagari, and Gaura Nityananda Bol is part of a bhajan. So it's actually part of our Vaishnava.
Part of a bhajan, but
Right.
just like that other song where you're talking about the glorification of the various deities. You have to question, should I incorporate something into the kirtan?
Then it sets
Can I borrow from here? Otherwise, again, the Mahamantra gets lost.
Right.
And after a while, if we don't check this now, in the generations to come, what group are you with?
Yeah.
Who are you? Well, we're Hare Krishnas. Well, why don't you just sing it then? As people's anticipations are. Yes.
I'll just ask everyone, who here has written an essay before? Has anyone here written an essay before? So I'm just noticing a connection between what's being said here and what I've realized from writing essays is that when you write an essay, you're supposed to convey the information that you've researched in its purest form. And after you've done that, you can add your own little opinion almost afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm almost seeing that as when people are adding Jaya or Haribo or the deities, it's pay your respects to the standardization and then add your own little opinion. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys.
Yes,
It kind of makes sense to me.
I think I understand what you're saying.
But then
and
our opinion creates a precedent, doesn't it? And then before you know it, it's...
Yeah, well, what happens, exactly. If your opinion comes through, then other people say, well, I'll throw out my opinion before you know it. The essence gets lost. So I think really the emphasis has to go to what's pure, and that's what this presentation is pretty
And
much
what our
about.
acharya.
Thank you. Yeah, we have to follow in the footsteps. Yeah. Well, thank you. Okay, Jai Sachinandan. Okay. Radhe, Radhe, Govinda, Govinda, Radhe. Okay, these are also things. And Prabhupada, when he came to Toronto, devotees were saying, Radhe, Radhe, Govinda, Govinda, Radhe. And it was just, he didn't disapprove, but it was just along with the melody that the Mahamantra fills in with. But anyways, I think we've covered almost all of them. Is this everything you've got? So those are pretty much the no-nos.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah.
There's a quote by Bhaktivinoda Thakur where he says he's looking forward to that day when the Russians and the Americans and the Germans will
Jai
all come to
Sachinandan.
Mayapur,
Right.
and they will chant Nitai Gauranga and Jai Sachinandan. So I've often wondered, do we not do that because Prabhupada is our acharya and Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not our immediate acharya?
I think the main point is that it's not that it should be inculcated into the kirtan, into the standard kirtan. And just
But
Prabhupada. And Prabhupada didn't do it. So that's all. He just didn't do it. And you might, how you interpret that, also, let's give glories to Chaitanya, and let's give as Jai Sachinandan. But to incorporate it And like to make it mainstream, I think that's the danger. Samir.
Yeah, I heard one story about what he was saying. That's in India, there was a big kirtan going on, and the newcomer came in, and they were chanting, Jai Nityananda Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And he was listening. Go Nityananda Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And he was listening that Nityananda is gone. Instead of Hari Bol, he says, I don't know. So he was wondering, what kind of song is this? So when the kirtan ended, there was a devotee sitting, and he went there and was asking, do you know where Nityananda Bol? He got surprised.
It's just like you didn't get the pronunciation. When the devotees introduced, Gaura Nityananda Bol, I also thought it was Go Nityananda Bol. No, or Nitai Go, Hari Bol, like in Sankirtan, Nitai Go, Hari Bol. I thought it was just a new thing, but Prabhupada didn't give that to us. All right. So Go means Gaura. Right? It's really Gaura. Yes?
Just something I just realized. So recently they published a serial about Mahaprabhu. And yes, it is called Mahaprabhu, and it's one of the most, well, it follows the scriptures the most, but it got cancelled at the part where Lord Chaitanya takes sannyas. But there's one thing I've realized, is that they don't say Hare Krishna, they all say Hare Bol. So I think we've told the Hare Bol a bit too much, and right now they say, well, there's no Maha Mantra in it.
Right.
Very, very rarely.
Well, Hare Bol is there in Chaitanya.
Yeah, it does appear. It's the way people address each other. Devotees say it all the time, Hari Bol. To make it mainstream kirtan, this is the problem. This is the issue, right? Okay, so this is from Danavir Maharaj, and this, I didn't have a copy of the ISKCON Kirtan Standard Book, which is this thick. Here's a quote. In spite of the fact that these are holy names of the Lord, ISKCON devotees should not indulge in this type of kirtan because it was disapproved by the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Pause. Right? Okay, let's go. And from Hari Sari's diary, the thing is, they add these things without asking, and that is the danger. It is better to just follow the Guru. Next. Somebody else want to read this? Loud? Anyway, Mahaprabhu.
That is not done by the Acharyas. Therefore, better to stick to Hare Krishna and to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Otherwise, just like the Sahajiyas, they have invented Nitai Gaur, Radhe Shyam, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. These things will come gradually, but they are not approved. They are called Chhada Kirtan, which means concocted Kirtan. Srila Prabhupada morning walk.
Yeah, Prabhupada's famous phrase, you can chant Nitai Gaur, Haribol, but I will chant Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Asari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, and I will go back to Godhead. He put it like that. Now, here's an interesting thing, Nitai Gaur Haribol, if you emphasize that, or similar kind of phrases. I was giving this presentation in Honolulu, at our temple there. Guess what deities they have? They have the Panchatattva there, the main deities. And Shruti Kirti was there, and Narahari, and everybody was there to hear this presentation. I felt very humbled. But anyways, we gave that quote from Prabhupada, that if you just took Nitai Gaur, well, what about the rest of the Panchatattva? And because the Panchatattva are there, everyone went, oh yeah, what about it? Yeah. It's just like sometimes you hear devotees go, Radhe, 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 Radhe. What happened to Krishna? Just throw him out? Or should kick him out? I don't think we should. I don't think that we have. I don't think we have the license to do that. So again, it's following the acharyas, following the guru. So, yes.
Prabhupada makes a reference to this Nitai Gaur, Radhe Shyam, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, because there's actually a temple near our Krishna Balaram temple that chants this 24/7. But Prabhupada said instead of chanting this, and he gave a similar mantra, I don't remember exactly, but it's Krishna Balaram. is included in it. He said, instead of chanting this, you can chant this. It's there in the CC. It's not that. I don't remember what it was.
So the point is, follow what's been given to us by the
Acharya.
Hare Krishna. Next. Jayadvaita Maharaj. Govinda Bolo Hari Gopal Bolo. Have you ever heard that kind of thing?
Actually, I heard Navi Yogendra Swami recorded it.
Oh yeah. I was at one of our Rath Yatras in the temple. They start the Rath Yatra at our temple, then they go to Hindu temple, and then they swirl back down to our temple again. But at the Hindu temple, they stop, and there's this lady who's very domineering, and she goes, what is this song, Radha Mama, do you remember? What is it? Luchi, Kuchi, Ruchi.
Something like that.
I said, what does that have to do with it? Anyways. So, Radharani ki jai, Maharani ki jai. Again, this is Brijbasi folk song. But what happened to Krishna? You know, why is he? Why shouldn't he be there? Jai Radha, Ramana, Hari, all invented pop bhajans and others. Okay. Srila Prabhupada. Regarding the Sham chanting, which you have heard, is not very good. In our temple, strictly Hare Krishna chanting should be given more importance. There's no harm in this mantra you have heard, but it is not very important. Okay? And that's a letter to Malati. And Prabhupada's not canceling it out, but again, he's putting emphasis on what's wrong with just sticking to the simple things of life, the simple thing. Hare Krishna. Right? Another one? Yeah.
So there is Srila Prabhupada also said that even though a mantra may be valid, if it is not given to you by your spiritual master in this next session, for you it's not going to work.
For you it's
not going to work. The mantra
not going to work.
And it's supported in the Shastra as well.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, and somebody else here who hasn't had a chance yet to. Together then. 1, 2, 3, go. There are many such common songs composed by common devotees out of sentiment. But our principle is to stick to the authorities and always remember that Hare Krishna is the prime authorized mantra. Okay, I just want to stick to practical. I'm not sure how long we're supposed to finish very soon, right? I think so. Okay, and we are coming close to the end. Kirtan should not go on and on and on with many jayas, jai this, jai that, jai every name the lead singer can think of. It is suggested that the name of each deity be chanted once only. Their names are already included in the Mahamantra. So chanting of the deities' names is in one sense superfluous. Okay.
Maharaj, Uddhava Shloka once made a joke about a devotee doing all those jais, and so he started going, Jai everything, 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 Jaya, Jaya, everything.
Jaya, all is one. Okay. Okay. Good stuff here. At midday arti, some devotees were singing over the microphone a mantra glorifying Sita Ram, Raghavati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. They were also chanting some other mantras. Srila Prabhupada sent me into the temple with the message that they stop. He wanted them to simply chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, since it automatically includes Lord Ram. He said that the other mantras were not necessary. We even have some temples where we have Sitaram deities, and Prabhupada made it pretty clear that here you, like in Bombay, Sitaram chant Hare Krishna. That's good because it implies, Sita and Ram, it's all there automatically. Let's go ahead. Jai Guru Dev. You do not sing Jai Guru Dev. Do we hear devotees sing that sometimes?
Yeah. Even in the temple.
Yeah, Jai Guru Dev. One thing I want to say about what we did in Toronto some years ago is that we heard all these deviations. So we decided, let's do this kind of course. And anyone who wants to lead Kirtan must go through this course. And then after that, we had 2 or 3 monitors, that is people, said if they hear someone leading and they're a little bit off course, just nice, gently tap them on the shoulder. We did take the course. Oh yeah, that's true. Okay. So in this way, you just kind of keep everything in sync, stick to the Dharma of the matter. Okay, so the word Gurudev is impersonal. It can mean anyone. If you want to indicate your spiritual master, you can call him by name. So it is Jaya Prabhupada. Okay, that's Hare Krishna.
So is that a question about Jaya? Because since Prabhupada's time, basically, there's other devotees with other gurus.
Right.
So I never would say Jaya Gurudev indicates for the Prabhupada, but the present gurus were.
But it's not necessary. Chanting Hare Krishna is good enough. And devotees generally chant Jaya Prabhupada. That's about the only Jaya that you probably get away with. And that's good enough. Again, he's our founder Acharya. Yes?
So the question that sometimes we're being corrected to call our spiritual
Master.
master by name because it's considered to be disrespectful. Parents by name. How can we
Reconcile. You're talking about in Kirtan? We don't need to chant anybody's name in Kirtan. So it's reduced to Jai Prabhupada. That's all. And if you're talking about addressing your Guru Dev, you say Jai Guru. Yes, Guru Dev, or yes, Guru Maharaj, something like that. I mean, that's just another topic right now. We just want to stick to the Kirtan. We're supposed to finish. Okay. And we are almost finished. Is that right, Guru? 15 slides. Can we jump over to Jai Maharaj's little, that's really funny. He gets very sarcastic and then we'll finish it there. This is precious. It's priceless. Okay, the 10 Commandments for Kirtan and ISKCON. It's sarcasm, just remember. Okay, everybody, are you ready? Just say it together. The first commandment. Thou shalt chant as many tunes as thou canst think of. So, does that happen sometimes? Somebody starts off with a tune, and everyone's just got hold of it, and then they switch to another one, and then they go to another one. Come on, All right. Number 2. Thou shalt not chant any one tune for more than 3 minutes. 3. Thou shalt not chant the morning tune in the morning. Or if thou start with thou shalt quickly switch to something else. Number 4. Thou shalt start fast, speed up more, then stop, and start all over again. The more times, the better. Number 5. If thou art the mridanga player, thou shalt always set the pace, following whatever mechanical pattern thou art used to, and let the singer follow thee, or go to heaven. All right, we're having fun with this. Next one. Thou shalt always chant Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gauritai, Jai the names of all the deities in thy temple, and then some, and then as many other Jais as thou canst think of. Thou shalt never end a kirtan without those Jais. Number 6 or 7. Thou shalt always add Jai Radhe to the kirtan, and if thou canst vary it with Jai Shri Radhe, so much the better. Number 8. Thou shalt not allow the Hare Krishna mantra to take up more than 10%. And heaven forbid thou shouldest chant it all the way through. Next, 9. If thou art Indian, thou shalt try to sound like a professional bhajan singer. If thou art not Indian, thou shalt try to sound like an Indian devotee imitating one. Number 10, thou shalt forget about the way Prabhupada led Kirtan. So it's good to have a little humor at the end. So I think that even though there's a few slides that are important, I think we covered the main issues. Prabhupada set a standard for us. And if we don't do that, everything will get so diluted, so watered down, that there won't be a Hare Krishna anymore. It'll be something else. That is the main point of this. I hope you found this stimulating in some way, educational, and if you've heard some of these quotes and phrases before from Prabhupada's letters or directly delivered to his devotees, then maybe it was just good to hear it again. Any last comments or reflections, or with this course actually we can really take our time with the dance. We even usually go for things like kartal playing, and if you want to stretch this course, you can do some basic voice lessons. That can also be introduced. But we've packed this into 2.5 hours, and I think that we all did pretty good with it. Yes, reflections and feedback, yes.
So from what I remember, even prior to Jayadvaita Swami's Kirtan reform, Harikesh Prabhu, he'd compiled some points some years ago, and he tells one story where Prabhupada was at Bhaktivedanta Manor, and Anand Das Brahmachari, who was sometimes called Anand Maharaj, Prabhupada's godbrother, was in the temple room with the sannyasis, and he was having a fired up Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Kirtan. And Prabhupada expressed his displeasure, and he told Harikesh, tell him to stop that Kirtan right now. We are not the Nitai Gauranga movement. We are the Hare Krishna movement. And if he wants to chant Nitai Gauranga in his mat, in his temple, he can do that. But in my temples, you chant Hare Krishna. So then Harikesh Prabhu, he thought to himself, my God, I have to go to one of Bhaktisiddhanta's disciples and tell him to stop leading a kirtan. So he went in there and he disrupted the kirtan, and all the godbrothers gave him like this dirty look, like, what are you doing? You're like wrecking the whole party that we're having here. And he had to tell him, excuse me, Maharaj, but Prabhupada has asked, please chant Hare Krishna. That's just one little anecdote.
Reiteration. So thank you very much. We really do have to close off now. It is time for prasadam. And, but you can give us some feedback during the time of prasadam if you like, and continue on with the discussions on this, okay? And we hope that, you can take this course in your temple and you can implement what we did in a few places. I did go to Washington, D.C. with this. Montreal was very favorable, and a few other places in Canada. And just see that there's some monitors. Again, what we did was in Toronto, and we have to bring the course back as new people come and start singing. So anybody who wants to lead a kirtan in your temple, they have to take this course. That's all. And it was no big deal, no big sweat. Everyone was for it. So we want to thank you very much. Thanks for dancing, chanting, clapping, slapping, lapping, and all those things. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada.